Running?
Go live.
All right, pledge of allegiance. I pledge
With allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Today is February 5th, 2024. I call this meeting to order. Looks like we have to start one resignation. Mr. Hamilton decided that his time was at work was getting too involved, so Mr. Hamilton just resigned today. Mr. Benoit's seat's up, and according to my information, no one put in for it until tonight. So I recommend that we have Mr. Rod Martin, an ex-council member that wasn't on the ballot last time. So I recommend council that we appoint Mr. Martin to council,
Shall I read it?
if you want.
The Village of Amanda. I, Rodney Lee Martin, AKA Rod, am interested in the vacant council seat. I have been a member of this community since 1967. I have lived in Amanda for the last 18 years, plus a graduate of Amanda Clear Creek High School in 1975. Thank you, Rod Martin.
Jeez, I was gonna say.
It's quite the resume, Mr. Martin.
He's an old fart, isn't he?
I wasn't even born then. Hold on.
Do you need someone to make a motion?
82.
You guys.
So I make a motion that we go ahead and appoint Rod Martin to the vacant seat that's available.
Do I have a second on that?
I'll second
A vote for. 4-0, Mr. Martin.
Take your seat, will you?
Get your seat back.
Yeah, take your seat.
I was on him.
Are you already scoring?
I was,
He's fast.
Do you need
He's
more?
fast.
yeah. We'll get business going here as soon as we get the seats filled up. So Mr. Hamilton's, we need to set a date for Mr. Hamilton's seat for applications. And I got, today's the 5th, our next meeting is on the 4th of March. So,
29th,
huh?
February 29th.
We can do February 29th or the 1st for the deadline for the applications to be in.
No, that's 30 days. That's what we've been given. So yeah, it'll be the first.
Very good, Eric. You did a good job.
If it keeps you busy in the evenings, go ahead.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, I had to dig through there for the other offices.
All right.
There you go.
Here, we'll fill this out later.
Alright.
Read it.
I, Rod Martin, or it should be Rod Lee Martin, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Ohio, and will unfaithfully, honestly, and personally discharge the duties of council for the Village of Amanda, Fairfield County, of February 5th, 2024.
19, boy, you're getting.
Yeah, I've got 19 on my mind.
That's good.
The second folder down, they don't have a name, if you wanna grab that information, that way you
This
have,
one?
that way you just have,
All right,
Fill that out when you get a chance.
all right.
what day did you set the deadline?
First of March.
First.
Then we'll, then I'll be eligible to appoint the 4th. All right. Approval of minutes from last month.
I make the motion to accept the minutes from as read.
Second,
A second.
all 4. Minutes from last month. We have to approve the minutes from last month.
You two to sign it.
All right. Okay, before we get into people before council, we had temporarily appointed President Pro Tem. And just for the simple fact that we was short on members. And I would like to suggest to council that we withdraw them. And since we have 5 on the seat now, that we appoint a new President Pro Tem or keep the one we have.
Who is the one we have right now?
I think we should just keep it.
We can, I mean, we can revisit it in a couple of months as well.
But that, I just need, it needs to be set tonight. It's permanent until something happens. Recommendations.
I make a motion, we keep the same one we got.
Okay, super. So we have a setting president, and that's by law, we have to have a setting president. Okay, who wants to go first? Dollars or the?
But we're just
We're
here watching.
observing.
Thank you for coming.
We have nothing to complain about.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Really? All right, Eric,
That's refreshing.
Eric, floor's yours.
Floor's mine?
He didn't have nothing.
Yeah, I just.
He just come
Oh, I
on.
thought you come to grumble about the income tax. Okay,
I'm
well,
come to listen.
good. Hey, you're.
I got the information, didn't have to grumble, see? I
Yeah.
just showed up.
You will find,
You can come in and get any information you want.
you'll find out. I'll give you every bit of information that you'll need, even if you don't like it and I don't like it. That's what we're here for, is to serve our community, not be against our community. Okay, so no one's before council, letter of vendors.
This was the old one.
Yeah, I know. All right, committees. All right, since you are President Pro, you'll be on budget.
Okay.
You're ahead of the budget. That is your budget. Okay. Need another member to set on the budget committee. Elder Mr.
think-
Martin? I don't care.
Okay.
All right.
20 years.
I promise not to rustle you too much.
Well, and may I say my years being around with his knowledge of the way this building operates with the funds, knowing Carrie Ayers that he does, he needs to be there
Okay.
to keep an eye on Carrie.
All right.
Is that it?
All right, parks and beautification. Need a recommendation for the two that want to be on parks.
I recommend Elizabeth. It's also been events in the past as well, although we're not doing as many, we're just not. And so
What is this?
I'd like to help her with that.
It's like the Easter egg hunt and the Christmas thing. We've always brought the churches in to, be the head of that because, they like to be involved and they have different views on what. And I think that's what we need to get back to
I think
is,
between the two of us, we have enough contacts in this town between the moms and I will say the women of this community, as well as interested gentlemen, that we could probably put together a good plan with how, like you and I are both on nonprofits that are like the Harvest Festival is mine and your, the Harbor Knox Foundation, you're putting together events as well. So between us and some help with volunteers, we could probably put on things without involving the village.
I just don't think that the village of Amanda should be throwing parties all the time. There's other, we're in the business of running this community and running the government side of it. We shouldn't be put in a position that we're hosting this and we're hosting that, which I have no problem with any of the things, the Easter egg hunt and the
Oh,
Christmas stuff, but I think we have outside sources that, just like the community patrol, you guys are really involved in community patrol and I want to come down and sit in on a couple meetings.
Awesome.
She'll hold you to that.
I just live right up the street. All right, so we got
That's all I need.
parks. Okay, services. Have 2 open seats for services.
What's that entail?
Over the water, sewer, and street department.
I'll take that.
Dawn, Rod,
Yeah, take it from the streets.
Dawn, Rod.
I don't care.
Is that what you said, Dad, or? do
Dawn,
you-
oh, did you say it? Okay, I wasn't looking at it. You guys are getting mad at me. All right, development improvements. Rod, you gotta get on one of these.
I think I'll go for that one. You'll work
All
together?
Okay. Okay, zoning, which is we got a lot of work to do in zoning. I mean, Benny takes care of 90% of it, but, you know, the zoning and property maintenance, I think, need to go hand in hand. Because the property maintenance system that we have right now is not working. I mean, as a council member, you should not have to go to someone's house and say, you know, I don't like it, you know, or, you know, go to over here and say, I don't like it. We need to get the county, which I guess is addressed,
Well, that's building codes, not
building
zoning.
codes, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So just fill me in. What exactly is the zoning? Tell me all the aspects of it.
zoning, we have a zoning code in the village.
We talked about that earlier, right?
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that you're working on with the new county situation. That's
No,
just
that's
for the
building.
building.
That's building,
It's separate.
yeah.
You're just talking about like people who like have issues in town.
They'll
Maintenance
present,
work
they'll
orders.
present a order to Mr. Hedrick. And if he has issues, then he comes to the zoning commission and me, and we work it out, you know.
So is it just about like wanting to build a building or put up a fence or?
Issues with permit.
It's just like when remember when you had to
Yeah.
go, basically it's the zoning board of appeals. You doing that.
Oh, the one that Phyllis is on.
Right.
Yeah, I can do that.
So we want to still try to keep them separate? Or do we want to combine them?
They should be combined.
Combined.
Do you want me to make a motion?
Well, you guys are the ones approving it. I'm just bringing my input in.
I make a motion that we combine property maintenance with zoning and make it one thing
All right,
together.
all for that?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
I don't think they should be together because if a council member goes out and I almost use myself,
it's fine.
use myself, and I go out and my neighbor man is in violation. That's gonna stir the pot. I gotta live next door to him and he has to live next door to me.
Mhm.
And there could be a lot of hostility there. I feel that we need to go outside the council members and get somebody to do it
Like we had it in the past.
because
Do we still need someone to preside over
Both.
those departments though? Whether it's internal or
Benny's got to
external?
have someone to go to.
If somebody wants to go over what I
Yeah.
say, then you guys, that's when you guys come in.
We have a board of appeals.
Yeah.
Right.
For
You
that.
would set on the board of appeals. Or whoever. All right, well, if that's what we want to do, that's fine with me. Then we'll go with zoning. I need 2 members for zoning.
I'll help Benny out on zoning since I've been there a few days,
All right. One
Just
more.
a few.
few years.
I need another member.
I can help.
Okay.
You're gonna have to teach me, but
Everything, the next 2-3 months, you're going to be overwhelmed.
It's basically just
And
setting
you
up,
just need to,
trying to set up policies.
don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be, because stuff's going to be flying at you and you're going to go, I don't know.
and then when the next person who's voted in, they could always be added to these areas.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody has to sit in.
Okay. All right, property maintenance, I still need 2 members to be quote unquote the head and setting member of property maintenance. Don't everybody jump at once.
Everybody hates it.
Don,
Don and Rod.
see how I put you in there?
So as of now, that is a recommendation. You got them all written down. Recommendations for committees. You want to read them off?
Budget is Parks and Ralph Martin. Parks is Elizabeth Carter and Heather Parks. Service is Ralph and Don. Development, Rod and Elizabeth. Zoning is Elizabeth and Ralph, and property maintenance is Don and Ralph.
Offer that to council for approval.
I'll make a motion.
Ralph makes a motion and a second. Rod. Vote for. Unanimous. Okay, super. That's the hard part. Elizabeth, don't ever be afraid to ask any of us. We'll guide you through the first few months and then we'll
Then we'll stick you on the
I'm
dog.
still new to it. I have
All right, Ben,
Okay, well, Light Street project, obviously, we're waiting to see about the John Street deal, that they're gonna bid them both, if we get that, and we will know, this week. Mark and I have to go up on Thursday to the OPWC meeting to see if we're gonna get that grant for that, for John Street. So if we get that, they'll put both of them out, John's and Light's at the same time. Hopefully, maybe we'll get a little better price, but if we don't get John Street, we've already got Lights approved, so they will go ahead and put it out for bid. So
Was it good in Newark or Delaware?
Pataskala.
we have Pataskala now.
Pataskala.
Ralph and I attended many of
Yeah.
these.
So that takes care of Light Street and John's. On Wednesday, the EPA is coming down to go over the situation with the well. So we should have some answer sometime Wednesday on that well down there that we're looking at. And the culvert, obviously, they're waiting for probably be like April or so when the weather gets good, they're gonna finish the top dirt and grass seeding down there, and then that project will be wrapped up.
Couple days they'll have that.
Yeah,
wrapped
they'll
up.
have that wrapped up probably in a day or so. It won't take them very long to wrap that up. On the salt barn and Duralator applications, they are working on putting them together. So hopefully we'll know more on those. We'll hear by the next council meeting.
Super. Committees, Parks and Rec.
nothing to report at this time.
Okay. Try to get a few ideas what you want to do this spring. Get that rolling.
The Harvest Festival has set a date. We're already starting to get vendors.
Yeah.
And so I think the only thing we really need is, to be able to use this building to meet if and when the time should come, and probably to block off roads for a parade.
Easter is coming up soon, and it's usually the Saturday before, so we might,
What's
the
your-
committee might want to go
March
ahead and get
23rd.
in touch with the, churches, and then the guys can get the eggs down for
Okay.
you guys to get out to them, because they usually stuff them for us.
Easter is,
I think it's the first Sunday, like the first day or two in April.
I'm saying it was
I'd have to,
Welcome to my world.
I'd have to
Yeah.
Live by Midwest.
Oh, yeah. We live on Main Street.
The drag strip.
Yep.
It's typically the Saturday before, and then it's usually at noon typically, because I usually get flyers for it, so.
But Chris, I'd get a hold
we'll
of
see what
Chris,
it's together.
and I don't know who the pastor is down here at Duluth.
We met with all
And the
all of
eggs
them.
are in the attic.
Easter's on the 31st of March.
So it's right around the corner.
So the Saturday before it'd be the 23rd. So we don't want
Which
to
is-
hit Easter. That's
Which
when
might-
Usually the day before Easter, so typically it's what it is.
Yeah, they usually do it.
Yeah,
It'd
the
probably
day
be the
before.
30th. They'd be doing Easter egg
So it'd
hunt.
be the 30th.
I would advise that we coordinate with Elizabeth's. She's having an event. Maybe we can put something together, and I can gather some volunteers to help out with
You got them all.
things. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just-
Benny
I-
ordered flags, I think, didn't you, Ben?
Yeah, we got more.
They're ordered.
So, that's taken care of. All right, budget.
We'll have to have a meeting next month to do the final
Yeah.
appropriations.
Okay. When
Is
is
it-
that typically?
Typically, I usually do it during the day, but if you're not available during the day,
I'm available for Wednesdays, on Wednesdays.
Wednesdays, so if we could do it like Wednesdays at noon.
Okay.
Towards the end of the month sometime.
So the 28th, maybe?
First month or two,
Yeah,
it's
that's
gonna
fine.
take a while to get adjusted and everything set. Yes.
So is Dune all right with you?
So is it, they're talking about budget for like, how much they're gonna budget per event?
No,
Like, how
no,
much they're gonna
our
own?
total
We
budget.
have to have, the budget to the auditor by a certain time and the appropriations at a certain time of the year. Like our budget for next year, I have to have it in by July. Right now, so that's just stuff that I have to get to the auditor.
So it's for the total town budget for every,
For the year.
Yeah.
for the year.
Yeah.
Okay. And there are copies in here.
It'll get easier as it goes, obviously. Zoning. Kenny,
We didn't have any zoning at all this month. We didn't, I'm still waiting on them to finish up down here on the one on East Main Street. They did clean the property up there, but they have not filled the basement hole in yet, and they're got to come in and mark where they're gonna put the new house. So once they do that, then I can issue that permit, but
So they're making progress.
they're making progress, yeah. They cleaned it up.
Like I say, zoning board will leave as we have, for, all right, services, Dawn.
Nothing.
So,
Couple streetlights, which.
Yeah, we've got I've got,
We had a new one come in yet today, so.
Well, you get that one street light down, going out of town,
yep,
right?
it's wrote down. It's going
That's been out for
south,
2 months.
South Central. They should be coming. Of course, you know how they are. Sometimes you call them in, they might be a month or two before you get them out here, but you will,
okay. I went and took pictures of the school bus the other day. It's in the backyard. On that side of town. So on property maintenance, Ralph brought up, we shouldn't be the ones that are putting, and, we'll go out and inspect and stuff like that. We shouldn't be the ones that are out dogging Eric or dogging Thrills, they got something in their backyard that they shouldn't have. I mean, I'm using you guys as an example. I mean, you know what I mean? We need to get an inspector.
And our problem we have though, once we get inspected, turned over to the county drags their feet. And there's our problem. We're doing our part as council members. And our part of what happens once we turn it over to the prosecutor and to Fairfield County, they just drag their feet and it takes
What's
years.
low on the totem pole?
Pardon me?
It's low on the totem pole.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they have other ideals, and that's where you have to have someone there that's pushing it all the time. Now, I recommend that we go out and see if we can have somebody like we had in the past. And I've talked to Mr. Rose and he's willing to accept that. And just like taking pictures, there's nothing wrong with our employees going taking pictures, is there? I mean, we talked about that the other day.
Yeah, I think it was last year, they had me draw up an ordinance to change the wording to do it multiple folds. One was not only, complaint driven, but also by inspection. So if somebody saw something, and then it also was going to add that, we have employees or something like that, or an agency could also make a report as well. So that was the changes, but it never went anywhere at that point. But if you guys are going to change that, I get that information back to you guys.
What's council's thoughts?
So as council, as a council member, I can take pictures and submit it. If we hire somebody else to do that, submit it to this other person or company, whatever, for them to check the violation. And that's the way we should do it.
My
As a
opinion, yeah.
council member, we should be responsible for our village, but it is somebody else's responsibility, this entity, to finish the paperwork or whatever and document stuff so it goes to court. Okay.
I got a question
Yes.
about that. Okay, so why would we pay somebody on the outside? I mean, I understand with the council, I wouldn't want to do that either. What, to report people, because it's a small town.
Yeah.
But why don't you accept maybe volunteers or so, or if that's even possible, instead of paying a company, somebody that can go around, and take the pictures of what's going on.
Yeah, all of these too.
You know what I mean? Yeah, instead of paying somebody, that's just more funding.
Then the first time they get a phone call and someone ripping them,
Tell me, I don't care.
I just think as a council, it needs to be addressed and it needs to be,
That
resolved.
person also has to go to court
Yeah.
and stuff and do the paperwork, so
It'd be
it's
cheaper
more
still,
drawn
it'd
out.
still be cheaper than paying somebody outsourced to do it, if you can get somebody to do it. Like, as a council, I wouldn't want to do it, because then they know you, your
Well,
fingers
Nobody wants
pointed.
to do it. Nobody
In the
wants to
same
do
token,
it.
we don't
Exactly.
want to do it. Let's just put you in that position. Do you really?
I don't care,
No, but.
I don't
it's
care at
just-
all.
And then when it comes to the court date, do you want to go to the court and be the person in front of, let's just say you wrote up Benny Hedrick's house. Would you really want to be the person be in front of Benny Hedrick?
No, not if I was on council, not if I was
Well,
on
even
council.
if you
Now,
were,
outside
if
of
I'm saying
council,
you were volunteer taking the pictures and
If-
doing,
If you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong. Like that, I mean, all council members, is everybody in compliance with the ordinance? Every person on this board, any person at this table is in compliance with that ordinance that's written up right now.
Trust me, there's been council members that was written up.
I mean, there's swimming pools that's in this town that does not have a fence around them,
Mine does, and a lot.
so does mine.
And,
My weeds get out of control. My house was written up a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
it's-
that's what
it's a
it's
fine
for, it
line.
is to definitely,
So there's,
make it
there's
look clean.
two, this is a two-way street, right? I live here in the village. I don't always get to my weeds. Things happen. Things need to be maintained, right?
oh yeah.
I work a full-time job. I get
Yep.
busy. I have kids, don't do anything. So, but it's not my neighbor's fault because his home's value, let's say he's over there, he wants to sell his house. And so his realtor comes out and looks and goes, oh, your house is really great, except your neighbor.
Yeah.
Then his home value is affected by how I maintain my property. That's not fair to him. It's not fair to anyone. If my neighbor's not maintaining their property and not being safe, what if I've got a 2-year-old who wanders into somebody's pool area and drowns?
Who's inspected the pools
Whoever
in
wants to
town?
go through that. The maintenance rules are there for a reason. They're for safety and for property values. We all know, I mean, Amanda's getting some really great property values right now, but if we can't maintain the properties, that's not gonna always be that way.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so,
Like I said, maintain the properties, absolutely.
but
but-
nobody wants to be the bad guy.
Well, no, but like I said, everybody at the council needs to be on the same page as the residents of the council or of the village.
Right?
There's plenty of things around here, and who's in charge of going and doing that? Anybody? Or is it just by complaint?
Who has to be, it's by
Complaint
complaint.
driven.
It
It's
has to be by
traditionally
complaint
been by
only?
complaint.
That's the
right?
way it was set up, complaint driven.
I didn't-
Is that
I didn't
necessarily
think it
right?
was
I'm not
when
sure
we
that's
done
right, but that's,
it first time.
it's set up for
Have you ever
years.
considered creating a position? I'm sorry, Benny, like creating a position in one of your staff, like someone to. And it wouldn't even be a full-time thing. It's just like a part-time thing to go around, like one of the maintenance crew that works. If they have a feel for it, and it doesn't have to be anybody, we're like, this is the person who does it. We don't even have to tell anybody who does it. It's just a village worker who goes around and maybe documents. And I think pictures are the best documentation ever.
Oh, there-
You
that-
can't argue with a
Absolutely.
picture. And I mean, have we ever thought about paying someone part-time,
Some communities
one of the
do
workers?
together.
so
And then the council can pursue the legal part of it.
there's the other thing, you don't want the residents getting after our workers, complaining.
No, they should be protected.
Right, but you're saying this position is part-time, so in the past, what have we paid to have that done? Harry, do you remember what we,
300 a month, something like that?
Thinking it was up to,
350.
I think that's what it started. I think it was a little bit more than that by towards the end, but I don't remember.
it's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of money.
That's a lot of
But
money.
that's, he would, come in, do the inspections, take the photos, write up the reports, email them to me. I would get them ready. I would, get them certified. He would come back in and do the inspections and then write the second notice or the prosecutor's notice or whatever. And then if it ended up going to court, then we went to court. So that's what it paid for.
My recommendation, Dawn and Rod, is bring an ideal to the next meeting. We can sit here and debate it forever.
Yeah.
You know, let's do the process right. That way it gives you time to research.
And I don't think a council person needs to go to court. That's my
Right.
thoughts.
That's, like I say, you
Nobody.
two are on property maintenance.
Well,
You guys,
Because it.
council member or a resident
Right, exactly.
that, let's just say, and I'm just gonna use
You can
you.
use me, I don't care. Go ahead.
But I don't think it's fair for you,
To
let's
be
just
put
say,
in that position.
put that position to represent the village on a volunteer basis.
Yeah, volunteer. But I mean, there probably maybe is somebody that's
That would do it.
that would do it. I mean, at
Because
least
like I
maybe
said-
try, I
Well,
guess.
Like I say, you might be next door to your neighbor, you don't like something they end up and get a complaint and everything else, they're gonna end up and make it hard for you guys.
Oh yeah,
to live with. And
absolutely.
that's.
Absolutely.
well,
Like I said, yeah, it needs to be
That's
somebody
A little bit
that's,
ago.
yeah, not,
I think we can sit here and debate this for an hour, but Dawn,
We'll get
you and
together and
Rod
see what
okay,
we
you
can
know,
work
I'll do
with.
some talking.
and that way it's.
You guys talk.
Like catching.
Development, we didn't have a development, did we? It was development,
Rod and Elizabeth.
all right. Development is a boring committee, because until something does finally expand it.
Ben and I are going later this month to Logan. What was it's some sort of development thing. for
Yeah,
the
it's a
county.
development thing.
Yeah. So we'll get that information to you guys.
See my buddy Fraunfelder down there?
Probably.
Sorry. All right, if that's good for committees, everybody have any more issues on committees? Old business. Anybody have anything in old?
I just thought of something. Oh, did we ever hear anything about the park?
Yes, they applied for those grants, is that what you're talking about?
Mhm,
And they were denied,
they were not, so
so they wouldn't.
we, as council, fixed our part for somebody to use it to be safe for them.
Right.
With them not putting any money into it.
Right.
Just to use our facilities, okay.
I did send out the contracts today for the school and the bid and the baseball things, for them to sign. That's got the updated contracts. And, so hopefully they'll
And-
pay the use fees or do the sand if it's a school
Or stand or buy sand or whatever. Because anybody that uses our facilities down there,
Yeah,
we give them a break
The
by
baseball-
saying if you pay for the trash for the year, you can use it, don't have to pay, or
baseball does repair, maintenance on the park.
Improvement.
Improvements.
improvement.
Not the
And-
ball diamonds, because that's their own stuff, but to the park in lieu of their fees.
Okay.
And then the school, it's either pay the fee or they give sand for the diamonds.
Well, it's usually clay now, but,
Clay
Clay,
or
whatever it is,
brick
yeah.
dust, whatever.
Brick dust, most of it's brick dust anymore.
the red stuff.
What's that brick
Yeah,
dust?
That stuff's awful.
It's nasty.
Who ever thought about using that?
I mean, it holds up good.
it does hold up a lot better.
Yeah, it looks
All right, any
it
other
looks
old
wet,
business we might have? Mr. Martin, you're being real quiet.
Boy, you're lucky.
My mom and dad told me if I didn't know what to talk about, keep your mouth shut and your ears open, you might learn something.
Well, the only thing I have on old business is the sheriff patrol. I got a note up at the house to call the sheriff and sit down and see when is the best time to have our 20 hours a month, right?
Yeah, it's 20 hours a month, yeah.
Hmm.
They do it sporadic, so it's not a set time every month.
I thought we bumped it 4 hours. It
It
was,
used to be 12, it's 24, starts
it is
24, it's
24.
24.
It went 20 to 24.
It's
We did
24.
bump it to,
Yeah, because it was 12, it's now 24 now.
Right.
it's
So if we're
24.
gonna keep it, my suggestion is, you know, Fridays and Saturdays are when the kids go out. And
They
Just
typically, on the summer months, will do
Yeah.
more nights and weekends
Yeah.
than they do during the week.
Yeah.
But they don't have a set time, because that way people don't know when they're coming.
And they're on 12-hour shifts now.
so they have a regular time that they're in the village. But we
With
also
3 hours.
pay them 24 extra hour service
If they are on duty.
if they're on duty and they have somebody available, additional to what their income. So we used to have 12 hours, now it's 24.
Yeah,
that
3
we
hours,
pay.
3 hours at a time.
And in the summertime, Fridays and Saturdays are when all the mischief usually happens. Them setting up at school and watching traffic go by to me is not what you're in town for.
No.
They should be patrolling the village if that's what they're gonna do.
They're 3 hours. When they break it down, it's quite a few different locations.
So, like I say, within the next month, I have to schedule an appointment with the sheriff and we're gonna go over this.
Would you do that? I'd go with you.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I can give you the contact lady.
You might not want to go.
New business.
Jail, you might have to back up.
Been there before. One
He
time.
just admitted that, didn't he?
One time.
Present
miss
to,
anything.
council, this is, the
High rise.
High Revised Code upgrade. We do it every year. We still get like 3 books and the rest is in CD.
Well, it's just 3 books.
So I present to council that we upgrade to
Make a motion,
24
Riggs.
edition. Mr. Martin, second.
Because that's the rulings.
That's what we live by.
Did you second?
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't see
That's
what,
what we live
I was
by.
trying to
We
see.
have to follow them rules.
Them's our rules and guidelines.
If you don't, you're in the.
Structure.
Mhm.
So that's this one
Yeah,
here.
well, it's deep.
Yeah,
You
so
fall
this is
in
the original one, so I'll tell you which page. this
Yeah.
one.
Isn't it, Don?
This page, and there's a couple other pages.
It might be. Take a rip through it.
We'll get it.
Yeah.
All right. Carrie's got some information on the Fairfield County building contract.
Yeah, when I called Mr. Tool, when I was talking to him about property maintenance and zoning and stuff, he had mentioned that they are trying to get kind of like a Fairfield County across the board, rule, like regulations. So, and he said that, we have property maintenance regulations, we have zoning regulations here, but we don't have a regular building code. And currently, if it's a commercial business, they still have to go through the state for their building codes. But Fairfield County is wanting to contract that instead of it going to the state. The county wants to do the building codes. So they would still have to come to us to get the zoning to see like the size and setbacks and all that stuff. But they would, if it's a commercial building, it would have to go, if they contracted, it could go through the county. Now, that doesn't do residential building codes. I mean, eventually, if we ever grow, we might want to change that, but add that into our stuff. But at least the commercial would be regulated through the county, which is state regulations anyways. But he sent contracts in case you guys want to review that and look it over, and maybe if you guys want to adopt where the county regulates the building codes.
Dawn, do you have that envelope from safety? Representative Schaefer would send us a notification to close grants and stuff. And I think we'll have Carrie print this out and have it in your mailbox so you can all review it. And ideals are ideals. The trails, our walking trails are due for an upgrade. It hasn't been repaved for a while, and we've got some spots that are not paved. And my understanding is this might be a good outlet for that. So we'll have Carrie print this up and put it in everybody's mailbox.
Is there a grant available for like rails to trails? Isn't that a program that's here in Ohio?
It's Fairfield County
Trails. Take care of that.
So it used to be railroad.
It used to be rails to trails, but now
Right.
it's something else.
Now it's something else.
We
Well, you just
we
think
haven't got anything out of them forever. We maintain it.
I mean, it runs from here to Chillicothe. That
If
whole
they
line,
get access, they can't get access out of
right? Because
the
of,
town here because the farmers won't let it loose. All right, so building contract,
I just figured if you guys want to look it over and.
yeah. Okay, Meals on Wheels Week is March 18th through the 22nd. I'll probably spend a day up at the church and one day running around. If anybody else is wanting to get involved with that, you're more than welcome.
When is it?
March 18th through the 22nd. Okay.
What is that involved?
Basically, helping serve and cackling a little bit and talking to some of the people.
Our senior residents get a meal for free. The county or the state, this is the county state,
The county's the one who controls it.
they, a resident that's older can sign up and they will deliver them a hot meal every day and then they have somebody checking in on them and they do that. I know Joey Young down here gets to drive every once in a while and he cooks in there. And I can't remember the number of people in Fairfield County get free meals that they deliver to that need a senior person that needs just to be checked on and get a hot meal. And that's what it says.
Also, 2 days a week, they have it at the Methodist Church
That's
on
what I was
Tuesdays and
wondering.
Thursdays.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right.
And some people who can't get out of the house, they can pick up like a week's
Right.
worth of meals.
Yeah.
Right,
Right.
Cheryl, absolutely.
It's they used to play volleyball, seated volleyball, and it was a giggle. It's a good time because we know everybody down there.
Right.
It's not just the people of the village; it's around the village. If you're
Right. It's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Betty Carpenter ran it for years.
Yes.
And
yes.
it was every day at the Methodist Church when she ran it, but they finally picked it back up now 2 days a week.
So you guys will get me information when your community watch program meets.
Yeah, I wanted to check with you to see, so if kind of a focus that I was working on was more of emergency based.
Mhm.
So I wanted to make sure that I understood what what the village's emergency plan was.
We have a contingency plan. We can get you a copy of that.
That'd be great.
Because once we get everybody set, we'll have all the names and then it also has all the residents, where this person lives, that person lives, and all the contact numbers for emergency services and, could be anything.
Yeah.
But no, I think that, and there's hedges money too, if we need to, because that's community. And we need to buy some, we shouldn't have to go hawking all the retail place in your place.
Yeah.
You know how it is, and, it gets old after a while. I mean, everybody wants you to fund them. And, you gotta fund yourself first, right? So, there's resources that we have available that could help the program, even if it's just shirts, or.
Yeah. For right now, I'm just trying to get the community to come together and everyone learn who their neighbors are. When you break the community down into small sections, then everybody's looking out for everybody else, and it helps facilitate everyone being neighborly. So,
You guys are not the newbies anymore. You've been here years.
yeah. So
Couple
we're
years, 4 years, 4 years.
our fifth
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
We're in our fifth year.
You gotta remember, Lou knew everybody.
Yeah.
Time
We're working
flies
on
when
it.
you're having fun.
He drove their school bus.
Oh, yeah.
They took him to the hospital.
EMT, and
All that stuff. Yep.
When I was a kid, they used his ambulance thing
Yeah.
to take. Because I remember when my grandma had a heart attack, he came down to the ambulance, they loaded her up and took her to the hospital.
It'd be a lot cheaper nowadays than what it costs to go
Yeah.
to school.
Oh, yeah.
All
Hey,
right,
somebody can pick me up.
anything new? Anything council got to bring up for next month? Nope. Pay bills? Motion to pay bills.
I make a motion to pay bills.
I second.
Forward. Okay. Elizabeth, this is your first meeting.
It is.
Would you like to make a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
She's all about that.
You have to say it.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah,
Meeting.
right.
I
Second.
second.
There you go.
All four?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
See, you're big time now. Big
Yeah.
time. You're
Make a
big
good
time.
decision.
Hey,
You made it.
hey, you're gonna be in the minutes now.
There
This
you
good
go.
part, yeah, when somebody goes, what?
I try to make sure that the communities get the first.
Yeah.